What up, Capital Gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, September 3rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. What an incredible day we have ahead of us. Man, huge NCAA football card for us on a Friday. Full MLB card. Got a CFL game packed in. I'm so excited about today's card. And it helps when you sweep the board in NCAA football like we did yesterday. 3 really easy cashers. Man, NC State first half -10. The Taint play today. Too easy. Minnesota first half +7. Too easy. Ohio State, Minnesota first half under 31.5 -115. And the live bet on Ohio State. Come on. Wrote that shit like a book, like a script. Felt goddamn good. Great to see everybody in the chat. I'm fucking locked in today. I'm pumped up. You know what time it is. Time to milk these motherfuckers. Shout out to everybody joining us in the chat. We got Sammy Culmer. Play of the day, Astros team total over 4.5 -120. It makes so much sense, man. And I bet the Astros last night on the -1 line. I took the over 9, which is actually moving in my direction. But the market is not moving towards the Astros. And we saw what happened yesterday when the market didn't move towards the Rays. And the first, I was setting up the show about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, and I saw your play today. And I was like, of course. And I went to my offer, and it was -130 on the team total over 4.5. And I was like, well, of course it's the right move. Of course it is. But I just don't want to. We'll see what the market is when we break that game down. But Sammy, in fact, I like your Astros team total over 4.5 better than my Astros -1. I mean, I was certain I was going to take the Astros first 5. And because of the market, I didn't. So we'll have to break all this down. Puzzler in the house says air show practice today. There may be afterburners. Yes, I've closed every window. Like normal. You'll still be able to hear the sirens of the cops. Francis looking at a Tampa Bay money line run line. That makes sense to me. Elio in the house. Yeah, it was a glorious day yesterday. Red Girl coming off a 5 in one day. And look, spreadsheet play today is the Astros. Of course it is. Oh, God. Throwing me for a loop, Ron. Throwing me for a loop. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is in. I'm already on it -1. But I'd like to be on them first 5, and I'd like to be on that team total over as well. How could this market be expecting a nice start from Arrieta? It's just shocking to me. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. But the spreadsheet play of the day is in. Spreadsheet play of the day is in. Evan L. ready to get to work. Adam Lastman. Rob McMahon asking how does he feel about the run line on the Astros. Ron Crawford says Arrieta is garbage. Look, I agree. Ickschnizzle says got my jean shorts on today. A nice pile on today. Let's get to work. Yeah, I remember I wore jean shorts. I wore baggy jean shorts every single day for 3 years down in Costa Rica. Jeff Shahadi in the house. And look at this. Play of the day, Astros, first 5 team total over 2.5 -107 at Pinnacle. Of course. This makes so much sense to me. Oh, man. It just has this deja vu of the Rays yesterday. Oh, man. All right, Turnsy's Rusty Kuntz play today is in. And it makes so much sense. Rusty Kuntz play of the day is in. Shout out to our guy, Turnsy, resting very comfortably on the nutsack of Rusty Kuntz. A young Rusty Kuntz. All right. Action coming in fast and furious. And Ron Crawford says 2 runs in 20 innings. I think Houston explodes. Coco Bongo announced went 2-0-1 in college football yesterday. Let's have a winning Friday as well. Let's do it. Lil E in the house says smells like money in here. Sammy Comics says all over Houston tonight. Good to see you guys as well. I'm scared. I'm nervous. Fap says my best bet today. Angels, Texas. No runs first inning. No runs first inning from our Fap win. Let me make sure that is copied and pasted. Okay, we're going to have to be fast. This show is just jam-packed, so we're going to have to be fast. And I will break down exactly how I plan on doing these shows. But remember, this is your show, most importantly. And here at Pub Sports Radio, you guys have a voice. So as we move forward with all these sports, I want to know how you guys want to bang it out because it's not easy. Not easy banging out all these sports. Serious business, Nasty Nate, Sanka in the house. Danny Lopez, La Liga Div 2 action for you guys. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Danny Lopez. Beautiful. Mark Schillingberg said someone gave out a teased parlay with NC State, Ohio State, Tennessee, App State. I remember that one. And you dropped Boise State because of the delay, but smacked that one. And thank you. Plus 280. Hit it for almost 6 units. That boy, Mark. There's CT Bays ready to go. We got Brian Watson. Slatsy in the house says back home from the hospital, coming from a hernia surgery. Oh, no. In honor of my new favorite drug, morphine. I have a one-time morphine play of the day. Jays. A's. And I believe that's a under 9. He's all popped up on morphine. Is that an under 9? I believe that's an under 9. Believe that's an underline. I know that it went to 8.5, so nice job getting the 9. I couldn't get the first 5 at 5, but I did bet it at 4.5, which is not something I wanted to do. And he's on the Owls under as well. The morphine play of the day from our Slats. Well, Slats, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you are feeling better. Slatsy. All right, let's get that over the Jays game. But we got, I keep saying this, we got to move real fast. So, I'm going to give one more shout out and then we're going to move on. But the morphine play of the day is in. Mark Schillingberg says, I seen Arrieta was pitching for San Diego and hammered it run line first 5 teams all over. That should be easy. It just hasn't moved. It just hasn't moved, and I'm very nervous. I'm very, very nervous. TJ says, Jimmy, what do you do in a funk? Back off, lower units. I can't snap out of this. On Pitt at a great number, and they blow late. On Nats, the great number, blow 6-run lead. Tampa Bay bats. Yeah, TJ. Yeah, baseball's been weighing heavy on me, and I've not been betting it on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I've also been prepping for football because there's so much work to do with college and NFL. But yeah, that's just what you can do, TJ, is plan out what you would have bet today. And then don't bet it. And then see how you would have fared. And if you would have snapped your losing streak, then attack Saturday. And if you're still losing, if you're negative units, do it again on Saturday. And do it again until you snap the losing streak and then start betting. It's a way of doing it. There's lots of options. Maybe some guys in the chat can help. Kev Riley in the house. Nasty Nate says, have we seen Jose's clean face yet? Yes, there was just one video he sent us about taking the week off. And Mark Schillingberg says, I wanted to bet Tampa may follow the Yanks and other teams this year who had long losing streaks coming off long winning streaks. I can't wait to talk about all these games. So let's get to work. There's Crystal Warren ready to go. North Ender, Rem Most, Isaiah Bolton. Mark Schillingberg says, I'm scared of Houston now because everyone is on him just like Tampa yesterday. I get it. I absolutely get it. And I'm nervous as well. Christopher Carter says, do we ride the underwave in CFL? Christopher Carter, I took the Montreal Alouettes team total under 25.5. That's what I did. I did not take the full game under because I expect a good game from Ottawa. And they're a bad football team, but I expect them to play well. And I just thought that was my best edge. That was my best edge right there. All right, let's get to work. Great to see everybody. And Razor Sharp Picks in the house says, nice, easy winner with our first college football play. Boise State, UCF under 68. Nice work, Razor. Yeah, we're coming off a great day. Crystal Warren, I was thinking about you in App State because I almost jumped on East Carolina, but it had moved. I was fortunate. It had moved 1.5, and I stayed off. And while I stayed off, I got to cheer you on. So great job. Mally Mouse says, anyone likes Cubs first 5 over 4.5? I'm on the opposite. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5, but I'm coming off a 3-4 day, and I'm not seeing things as clearly as I'd like, but I attacked this board with confidence after sweeping college football yesterday. Paco Healy, Gerardo Hernandez. All right, let's get to work right now. And Razor said landed on 67. It looked like an easy casher early. I hear it. Lamont Williams in the house. Nut Flush Allen says, Jimmy, real quick, we were sitting here last few minutes before Bailey leaves for first day of college. And she's promised to get inside on the basketball team. Oh, Bailey, we are all so proud of you. So proud of you here. And we just wish you the best of luck in first year. And we're very excited to follow along with your journey. And we have so much love for you. So enjoy it. Soak it all up. And just, work hard, be thankful, and enjoy it. Enjoy it. And I can't wait to hear your success. And we love hearing it. So much love to Bailey Allen, starting her university career. Okay, let's get to work right now and roll. So first off, beautiful day in college football. So we're 7-2, 77.8%. Sure, it feels great. Plus 4.8 units. That can go away in a hurry. In MLB, we went 3-4. The Giants -1 cash. Giants first 5 -0.5 lost. Pittsburgh, Chicago first 5 under 4.5 cashed. Rays first 5 -0.5 lost. Rays full game lost. Indians first 5 cashed. And Marlins first 5 plus 125 lost. And I thought that was going to cash. It was 2-0 after the first. And it angered me. So it was a tough day, down 1.65 units. And now we're sitting at 52% with an average line of -111. That's not going to give you a profit. And it's been bad for us. For me, 9.67 units. Down 9.67 units. I'm 289 wins, 267 losses. My ROI -1.74%. Great job, Kev. And just a quick shout out to Taint. Easy casher with NC State first half yesterday. Rusty Kuntz was with the Giants first 5 -0.5 with me that lost. Ron Crawford went 1-1 with his spreadsheet plays of the day. Rays lost, Braves won. And we get started. Let's go. We got to work quickly. Those watching who think that I talk too fast and it gets annoying, we got to be pretty quick today, so I'll try to slow down a bit. But, man, we got to move. We start with the Pittsburgh Pirates at Chicago Cubs. And with the advantage of the Pirates bullpen, I should have gone full game. There's Jacksonville Zoe in the house. But I didn't. The Cubs are playing okay right now at home. And I like Steven Brault, as you all know. And the Cubs are hitting lefties hard. This makes me a little uncomfortable. And Professor Chris is late with the Cubs today -1.5. But I took the plus line on the Pirates first 5 plus 115. And the Pirates hitters get to Brault, but the Cubs are hitting lefties hard. And Rodney Barton going to Charlestown tonight. I love this. Love hearing that, Rodney. I love hearing that, my man. Mal says Brault hasn't won a game in a while. He's trash. You guys know that the pitchers who were the minor league pitcher of the year for organizations are pitchers that I think have value. And I think they have value when their numbers aren't very good. And I give Brault a pass for his last start. It was a second straight start against the Cardinals, and we know what they're doing to lefties. And he was okay in that first start, but that second start, they smashed him. 3 innings, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, no homers, 2 walks, 1 K in a 13-0 loss at home. First the Cards. I'm giving Brault the benefit of the doubt here. I know Mal isn't. Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois, 78 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 9 miles per hour, sideways, slightly out to the left field pole. Alec Mills, 6-6, 4.32 ERA, 1.42 whip, 89 and 2/3, 65 Ks, 25 walks, 8 homers. Last start, Alec Mills was excellent. I would like to see him do this again. 8 1/3, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a 7-0 win at the White Sox. I'm not saying he can't do it again, and the Pirates are only hitting 202, 580 OPS first righties. Let's go into the baseball data here and roll on. Sorry, this is just taking a second to load baseball data. What the hell's wrong? Okay, here we go. So against Brault, Romine, Hayward, and Happ have seen him. And Hayward's seen him a lot. Happ's seen him a little. They're 8 for 27 against him. 296, 851 OPS. Against Alec Mills, Brian Reynolds is 4 for 5 with 2 homers and a double. Colin Moran is 3 for 6 with a double and a homer. And he's coming off a spectacular game, and now he's going up against the Pirates squad, and I'm getting a plus line. And that's what I want, our plus lines. Thank you, Mr. Gokster, my man. Joe Yervin says, Brault could bounce back and Mills could bounce the other direction. Odds say Pirates should be the play here. And Paco Healy says, linking up with Big Boss Sunday afternoon to watch the Irish. Oh, beautiful. I'm so excited that you guys are going to be hanging out. Please throw out a couple picks. Sabino Anguano in the house. And Damon Santori, go meet him. Yes. So let's move over to the market and then the cash and then move on. And let's just be quick. And look, if you see me humming and hawing over any action today, you straight up say, we got to go. We got to move on because we've got too much to talk about. I'm going to talk about every big game tonight in college football. There's one game I really want to talk about on Saturday, and that's just a bet I've already made. But we're going to leave most of Saturday alone. We have our big NCAA football kickoff show at 10 a.m. tomorrow with Babano and CMAC and special guests. So, check that out. And then on Saturday, sorry, I was just hearing my daughter yelling. I thought she wasn't even here. Okay. Let's just keep rolling. She sounds fine. Okay. Slatsy says we got to move on. Okay. Thank you, Slatsy. Okay. Slatsy. Is that the morphing talking? The total opens up at 9. It's now at 8.5. And the Cubs have an 11-cent move towards them. Let's see if that move also includes the first 5 here. On the first 5, we're going to go to Bet Online. This total did open up at 5. And dropped to 4.5. I had thought about taking the under 5, but it dropped to 4.5, and I was a little nervous with Alec Mills. And yes, there's been an 8-cent move towards the Cubs on the first 5 as well. All right, makes me a little uncomfortable. And then let's go to the cash flow here, and it's really exciting talking cash flow. Look, I know starting 7-2 makes anybody exciting when you start bringing in some cash, but I want to talk college football so bad. Okay, 1,941 tickets in. So on the money line, 70% of the tickets, 72% of the cash on the Cubs, and we see the market moving towards them. Then we have 69% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on the over, and it's gone from 9 to 8.5, so we don't know when those came in. Jacob Forty says, going to the Kansas City State game, Dallas Saturday morning, any quick thoughts? First off, the Pac teams, my ROI is negative with the Pac teams. So, and then early in the year, I want to be cautious. So I didn't put enough time into that, Jacob Fogarty, and I apologize. And I don't want to lead you astray. But we'll ask the chat if anybody has a feel on the Kansas State-Stanford game. And I love that you're going. Okay, Taint play of the day is in Cleveland-Boston, full game under 9. Just before, I'm going to pop that in right in the Boston Indians or Boston Guardians section here on the show. But just so we're on the same page, Joe Yurkovich made a very important point in the Cubs-Pirates game yesterday. He said there was a ton of volatility. So whatever you do, you want to have a plus line beside it. And that played in my head a little bit, and that made me move on the Pittsburgh Pirates first 5 plus 115. Jacksonville Zoe is on K-State -3. Yeah, if anybody can jump in and help our guy Jacob, that would be great. J-Dub says, once the college season gets up and running, can you switch the order around and do college first and baseball last? That's a really interesting idea, J-Dub, but I think what we should be doing is college football. We should be doing every day to the games that we want to attack. We should start breaking them down throughout the week. But that is a good day. And that's a good idea, J-Dub. That's a good idea. And that would help DJ Big Boss because he's available for the first hour of our show and not the second hour. Okay, so our guy, Matt Randall's Taint play today is in, and we will get to it. But let's just keep rolling through the card. That's my first action. Pittsburgh Pirates first 5 plus 115. I'm going back to the first 5 under 5 with the New York Yankees. And I know that is a trepidatious thing for a lot of you guys, but I'm comfortable with it. The Yankees don't have a ton of power versus lefties. 252 average, 725 OPS, and the Orioles aren't hitting lefties at all. 231, 677 OPS. Let's talk about this spot. I'm on the first 5 under 5 at -115. Baltimore Orioles 41-91, 22-47 on the road. Yankees 77-56, 39-25 at home. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. 72 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour, sideways. John Means on the bump. And I thought about Orioles score first, but it was -120 each way. And I want to be, you need a risk reward here. with taking the Orioles versus the Yankees. I also thought about Orioles first 5 plus a half, and I did not move on that. I'm only on the first 5 under 5 minus 115. Means 5 and 6, 3.46 ERA, 1.00 WHIP, 114 in the third, 104 Ks, 19 walks, 23 home runs. Last start for John. He went 6 in the third, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, no walks, 5 Ks, and a 4-3 loss at home versus the Rays. And I was impressed. The Rays are smashing lefties right now. At home, he's been bad all year. 1 and 3, 5.01 ERA. Opponents hitting .254 against him. On the road is where he's been shining. 4 and 3, 2.39 ERA, 197 opponent's batting average. Going up against Nestor Cortes, whom I like very much, and he also has fascinating home road splits that I think help us in this spot. Nestor Cortes 2 and 2, 2.77 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, 64 Ks and 61 and 2/3, 19 walks, 7 home runs allowed. His last start was at the A's, and it wasn't very good. It wasn't that bad. It was almost quality. 5 in the third, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 3-2 loss at Oakland. On the road, he's not been very good. 1 and 2, 3.50 ERA, 236 opponent's batting average. And here we go. Kev Riley says K-State -3. And let me reiterate, J-Dub, if that's what you guys want, whatever order you guys want, we'll follow. So however we want to do these shows moving forward, you guys make the call. So Nestor Cortes at home is 1-0, 1.75 ERA. Opponents hitting 172 off of him. I already went over their struggles versus lefties and Orioles bullpen, and Mally Mal saying anyone like Duke first half over 29.5 and North Carolina first half -3. Well, the first thing is I'm not certain. I don't trust North Carolina here. And when Enter Sandman starts playing in the first game with fans in Blacksburg, Virginia, I mean, you're going to get goosebumps. I can't wait to talk about that game. Okay, so here we go. Orioles bullpen, just horrific. 7.70 ERA, 1.59 WHIP over the last 30 days. Bullpen for the Yankees, so good. 2.30 ERA, 1.15 WHIP over the last 30 days. All right, let's move right over to the market and see what's happened with this spot. Here we go. Come on, speed up. Here we go. With the total. The total's moved to 4.5 at Pinnacle and at Intertops and at UWager. Perfect. That is what I wanted to see. Let's go to full game money lines and totals here. I should have looked at the money line for the Orioles, but I didn't. The Yankees opened up at -215. They're now only -218. This total opened up over 9 at -110. Is now over 9 at -114. Now let's go over to the cash flow. And in this Yankees Orioles spot, we have 4,085 tickets in. 4,085 tickets in. And they are expecting the market to move in the Yankees' direction right now from -225 to -235 here at Sports Insights. And we have 85% of the tickets money line, 95% of the cash money line on the Yankees. Then we have 38% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the under, which would mean you're expecting a good start here. And look at YouTube, everything says Orioles win. So I like this spot. I like the spot I'm on. First 5, under 5 at -115. Jacksonville Solo says, if you like UNC tonight, wait to live bet. I think Virginia Tech comes out hot, takes 7-0 lead. You'll get a much better line, and UNC should come back and win the game by 4 to 6 points. Very interesting. Okay. And CD Base on the full game under 9 says, nice ticket to cash split. Hopefully Yankees win and don't bat in the 9th. And Corey Simmons, been watching the show at work, says, but I have to give you my 2 plays tonight. North Carolina -5.5, South Dakota State money line, and San Francisco money line. Exciting, Corey. Thank you for taking that time, my man, while you're at work. That's very cool. So I'm going to pop that here so we have all of this action so we can break it all down. Corey Simmons, focus on your bets, giving us his looks. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Okay, so let's move on. I'm on the first 5, under 5 at -115. I can understand why CT Base is on the full game under 9. I just want to stay away from the Orioles bullpen as much as possible. Let's roll on. Next up is Mets Nationals, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Oh, but we didn't go over the baseball data in that last spot. I should just say against means 286, 876 OPS, but it's not the big bats that get to him, although Stanton's 3 for 6 with 3 singles. Sanchez 1 for 8, Judge 2 for 10. And the two lefty bats that they brought in, I mean, it's very possible Rizzo's not even in the lineup against this lefty, but the two lefty bats that they brought in, haven't seen him. And against Cortez, 0 for 5. Okay, let's move on to this Rich Hill spot. Mets, Nats Park, Washington, D.C. 73 Fahrenheit, clear, 4 miles per hour in. Rich Hill combined in Tampa and the Mets, 6-6, 4.11 ERA, 1.20 whip, 127 innings, 115 Ks, 43 walks, 19 home runs. Since the Tampa Bay Rays got rid of him, I've not bet him. I trust that Rays brain trust enormously. And if they don't want Rich Hill a part of their playoff roster and they don't trust him to pitch some big innings and big starts for him, then I don't want to bet on him. And on the Mets, he's 0-2, 4.83 ERA, 1.30 whip, 31 2/3, 24 Ks, 7 walks, 5 home runs. He is not being good. Andrew G., thank you for joining us. Okay, so last start for Rich Hill, he goes 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 8 Ks, and a 2-1 loss at home versus these Nats. These very Nats that smash lefties. They just saw this slow pitching 41-year-old. Sean Nolan on the other side, and he's kind of a tricky cap here. He's not some young stud coming up. He's a journeyman who, before these last few starts, hadn't pitched in the majors since 2015. 31-year-old Sean Nolan. In AAA this year, he's been pretty good. 3-3, 3.72 ERA, 1.26 whip, 48 1/3, 54 Ks, 15 walks, 7 home runs. This year in the show, 13 Ks and 12 1/3, but he's allowed 4 home runs and 12 1/3, and I don't trust him. Hanny just saw these Mets, who went 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, both solo shots, no walks, 6 Ks. I do not trust Sean Nolan. Do not trust him. Do not trust him. Crystal Warren says this is Nolan's first home start. That will be interesting. Jake Burns says, finally got my bankroll up for college football. Thanks, Jimmy and Chad. I love it. Love hearing that. And Topset says first 5 full game under, doubling up here. I'm always nervous when pitchers have just seen the opponent and pitched well against them, which is the situation here. The Nats bullpen's not to be trusted. The Mets bullpen has been very good of late. And the Mets versus lefties aren't hitting them last 30 days, 229, 628 OPS. Nats versus lefties, 276, 814 OPS. So let's take a look at what the market has done here. First off, the Mets open up at minus 144. They're now minus 136, an 8-cent move towards Nationals, which says they think Rich Hill's going to be touched. I say that because there's also an 8-cent move towards the over. An 8-cent move towards the over. Man, I'm starting to think this first 5 over is going to be in play. The Mets bullpen is so strong that I don't. Let's just go to baseball data and see if that helps us here with this spot. Against Nolan, they're 13 for 33. So they 13 for 33. Wow. 394, 1.09 OPS, 1.091 OPS. Against Rich Hill, they're hitting 322 with a 945 OPS. I just don't trust it. Sabino, much love. And says, my favorite baseball play is Cardinals to beat the Brewers today. This is coming from a guy who lives and loves in Milwaukee. And Crystal Warren took the first 5 as well. That's a really great comment, Sabino. I'm going to copy and paste that. Thank you for sharing it with me. And that is for the big Brewers Cardinals spot. Let me just make sure that I've got that here. This is stuff that we, Pete and I, love when people bet against their home squad. TJ says Nats rock lefties, and they've been giving up a ton of runs. And Joe Yurkovich going to move on Pirates. Team total over 3.5, just waiting on the lineups. Puzzler says Nolan's fastball just 2.7 miles faster than Hill's. First 5 under for me. From Mets first 5 unders at home at 67.2%. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that with me, Noli. I guess I'll stay off then. And if Elio also believes in that spot, I guess I will stay off. But let's take a look at where the cash lies and see if that will force me into some direction. We have 2,231 tickets in. 68% of the tickets, 49% of the cash on the Mets. So some big bets coming in on the Nats, obviously. And then 46% of the tickets, 56% of the cash on the under. Okay, easy for me. Easy for me. I've got a ton of action today, and I don't need to reach, and I won't hear. Mets Washington becomes it is in Washington. Yes, you're right. Good call. Nolino's saying Mets first 5 unders at home are 67.2%. You're right. This is at Washington. But seeing the tickets even like this. So we have 46% of the tickets on the under, but 56% of the cash. Is that people who have the bias from what they just saw? Rodney Martin says, want to stay off this game. How's Nolan going to pitch at home? And Rich Hill hasn't done the best on the road either in the last few starts. CT Bay says, off Mets today, but they might smash Fetty in game 1 tomorrow. These starters might get stretched with 2 games tomorrow. That is a good point. Okay. You know what? I'll just leave a lean to the first 5 over, and then I'll put some question marks there. Okay, let's move on to 7:07 p.m. Eastern. The Oakland Athletics, 74-60, 37-29 on the road at Toronto Blue Jays, 70-62, 36-29 at home. We're at Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario, 69 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 6 miles per hour in. And Slatsy 45 has already given us the under 9 at -120. He's also on that Alexander. We will get to that. Steve Priest says Mets -1. Nats have lost 5 in a row. This is where the Mets make a run against these lousy teams. Sammy Comer leaning to Jays first 5 -0.5. I couldn't get first 5 -0.5. So they wouldn't offer it to me. And that always, I always think that there's a reason they're not offering it. Now, let's see if they offer it now. And they do offer it now. And I already moved on the first 7. God, I should have just waited. First 5 is now available -0.5 at -120, but I moved on the first 7. That's frustrating. Okay, Minaya. Oh, also, I moved on the under first 5 under 4.5 at -110, and I did it with some trepidation. Let's break it down. Minaya 8-9, 3.97 ERA. 1 point. First off, I didn't get the 5. It wasn't available for me, and that made me angry. 156 Ks and 142 2/3. His last start was at home versus the Yankees. It wasn't very good. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 0 walks, 5 Ks, and 8-2 loss at home versus the Yankees. At home, Minaya is 4-4, 4.15 ERA. Opponents hitting .278 against him. He just hasn't been very good. On the road, he's been better. 4-5, 3.76 ERA, 2.22 opponents batting average. Alek Manoah, 5-2, 3.15 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 86 Ks and 74 1/3. His last start, 6 1/3. He goes 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 8 Ks, and a 3-2 extra inning victory at Detroit. At home, he's been lights out. 3-0, 1.83 ERA, 180 opponents batting average. And I know that includes Buffalo, but he's been very good. He's been very good in Toronto. And Johnny Case has got a Terp slurper. Terp slurper. Okay. A's versus righties, as I said, 247, 778 OPS. They're hitting him, and Jays are hitting lefties, 266, 782 OPS. Those are both past 30 days. Both bullpens are pitching well. But I don't trust the Jays bullpen at all, even though it's been okay over the last 30 days, 3.94 ERA, but 1.30 WHIP. A's bullpen's been very good. I should have stayed patient and waited for the first 5. I wonder if that's going to screw me. I can't double up. I wonder if that's going to screw me. All right, let's go to baseball data here and see what we are dealing with. Against Minaya, they're hitting .259 with a 600 OPS, 15 for 58, 15 hits, 13 singles, 2 doubles, no homers, and 58 at-bats. And only Starlin Marte has seen Alek Manoah. And Ron Crawford says Jays are on the spreadsheet too. Jays are on the spreadsheet too. And Topset said broke this down to Oakland first 5 and the under. Live bet Toronto full game. TJ saying Minaya getting hit hard last 30 days. 52% hard hit rate is very high. It sure is. And Razor Sharp Picks giving us a pick 4 at Ellis. Pick 4 at Ellis right now. Just a $20 cost. Thank you for sharing that with us. I love it. Razor Sharp Picks in the house. All right, I'm going to copy and paste this. Pick 4 at Ellis. Thank you for sharing that with us, Razor, my guy. All right, let's move on. Oh, no, let's not move on. I'm going to do the market. We've seen that it's gone from 9 to 8.5, and the Jays have gone from -132 to -149, a 17-cent move towards them. And then we go to the cash here, and we have 2,395 tickets in. 64% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the Jays. 64% of the tickets on the under and 22% of cash on the under. I'm nervous now. And Steve Priest saying Jays first 5 -1.5, -111 a penny. Ronnie Barton says, really just want to fade the A's and take the Jays run line. This is – I wish that I had been more patient, but I'm on the first 7 -1/2 at -120, which is the same price as the first 5, which I'd rather have. Okay. We move on. And we get to the taint play of the day next. Cleveland Guardians, Boston Red Sox, Cal Quantrill against Nathan Eovaldi. And the taint play of the day is Cleveland, Boston, under 9. Full game under 9. And Joy, you're going to be saying the A's were raking in Detroit. They sure were. Mark Schellenberg says, took the Jays last night, first 5, but no better than Minaya, in my opinion. I agree. Okay, Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts, 67 Fahrenheit clear, 5 miles per hour sideways, slightly out to right field. The Guardians, 32-34 on the road. The Red Sox, 41-26 at home. Cal Quantrill, 4-2, 2.93 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 116 2/3, 95 Ks, 38 walks, 10 home runs. His last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, just 1 earned run, 1 home run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 5-3 extra inning loss, at home versus the Red Sox. These two starters just faced each other 5 days ago, and that always makes me uncomfortable. At home, Quantrill's been lights out, 3-0, 2.39 ERA, 2.22 opponents batting average. On the road, 1-2, 3.80 ERA, 2.65 opponents batting average. Struggles more on the road. Nathan Eovaldi also has home road splits that don't actually, they do help him in this spot. On the road, he's 4-5, 4.87 ERA, 2.82 opponents batting average. At home, 6-3, 3 ERA, 2.34 opponents batting average. In Eovaldi's last start, he went 5 1/3, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, no walks, 7 Ks, and a 5-3 extra inning win at Cleveland. Eovaldi having a nice year, 10-8, 3.71 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, just 26 walks compared to 154 strikeouts. And Mr. Gozer says Port Dope's own gets touched here. Interesting. Red Sox bullpen still struggling last 30 days, 5.20 ERA, 1.54 WHIP. Guardians bullpen, 3.86 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Okay. Thank you, Jacksonville. So, all right, let's take a look at the baseball data. Then we'll move into the market, and then we'll look at the cash. Against Quantrill, 276, 840 OPS. JD, 2 for 3 against him with 2 singles. Schwarber, 2 for 8 with 2 jacks. Eovaldi against him, 256, 692 OPS. I wonder if... Well, let's just see how much it would cost. The Red Sox open up at -170, and that's where they stand at -170. There has been a 5-cent move on the under 9 from -108 to -113. And this is where the cash, just 970 tickets in. Interesting. I don't know why such a low amount of tickets in. So this isn't going to be very helpful. But of the early action that's coming, 60% of the tickets on the Red Sox, 93% of the cash. And that's strange. It's strange because there's been no market move towards the Red Sox. So we'll have to see. And then 73% of tickets, 99% of cash on the under. Wow. Jeffrey Blue says, how's the Red Sox pen looking with COVID issues? I would have to double check that. And Pamper Pop play of the day, 16-6. I love it. Lee, no, my man, we will be going over college football after baseball. So I'm looking forward to do that. Very, very looking forward to do that. 7-2 so far on the young season after a 3-0 day last night. Wow. This under does look appealing. CT Bay says, I like the taint look. Bets and money suggest might be more juice on the under by 7 p.m. I just feel like if we're going to make that move, I would prefer to stay away from these two bullpens. I mean, I just think that's where the volatility creeps in. But, okay, let's just see what BetOnline has done with the first 5 here. So the full game is at 9. We're going to go to the first 5 total. Shit. And move down to 4.5 at 843. So at that point, if the first 5 is 4.5, then you're right. The 9 is more appealing. Taint's heating up. Taint is heating up, and Topset likes Boston team total under. Well, I'm interested. I think I'm going to tail Taint. I did yesterday, but it correlated with my capping. This time, I understand it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's correlating, but I understand it. Okay, full game under 9. All right. Taint, baby. Taint coming off a nice, easy win. Taint told us straight up. Matty I said, I'm going to be at 60%. I'm always at 60%. I'm going to be at 60% here. And he's now moved his record up to 55.8% with yesterday's casher. Taint. All right, we roll on. And we roll on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers at Cincinnati Reds. Tigers 63-72, 28-37 on the road at the Reds, 72-63, 37-31 at home. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. 75 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour in. Tyler Alexander going up against Vladimir Gutierrez, and it felt like the Reds are starting to get out of this slump versus lefties. They're now against lefties hitting .214 with a .647 OPS. I love it, Kev. I love it. And Rod Crawford says spreadsheet Cincinnati. And Ron Crawford says love Taint. I got it 6.67. Ooh, we got to get on it before it's 8.5. Tyler Alexander, last start was not good. 2 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and a 3-2 extra inning loss at home versus the Jays. But he's been good this year. 4.34 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. His home and road splits, there's very little difference. I don't know why I added it, but I guess what I'm saying is he's a little bit better on the road. I guess that's why he's just slightly better on the road than he's been at home. Vladimir Gutierrez, 9-5, 4.03 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 96 innings, 75 Ks, 35 walks, 15 home runs. I wonder if at the 100-inning mark he's starting to feel a little fatigued. 3 innings last outing at the Marlins, a nice place to pitch against a weak ball club, and he got touched for 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks. At home, he's been poor. 3-3, 4.65 ERA, 283 opponent's batting average. And that makes me wonder if he's vulnerable here. It really makes me wonder if he's vulnerable here. There's Ski Profit in the house. Ski Profit says, was Vegas supposed to be October or November? Think about what I'm going to do for my birthday beginning of October. Yeah, Ski, my birthday beginning of October too. I wish we could do it up in Vegas. But we can fly across the border. We still can't drive across the border. We still have border issues. But it looks like because of COVID, we haven't locked in this big trip in November. And Mally Mal says, Reds will have you broke. Crystal Warren says, Mr. Gokester, my heart is scarred from the Reds. Scarred. I think that the Reds are somewhat vulnerable here, but the Tigers have never seen Vladimir Gutierrez. Against Tyler Alexander, the Reds are hitting 143 with a 486 OPS. Yes, Eric Jones, I am a Libra. October 4th. Okay, let's see what we're getting with a market move here in this spot. Here we go. The Reds open up at -170, they're now -176, and there's been a 2-cent move to this under 9.5, just a 2-cent move. Well, let's see where the cash lies, because this could be telling here. We have 2,736 tickets in. Wow, look at that. 33% of the tickets and 75% of the cash is on the Tigers. God, the Tigers are a live dog. Tigers are a live dog. Taj Bailey, best bet Yankees -1.5. Tigers are a live dog. Yeah, Ski, let's do something. That'd be really, really fun. There's Dutch Boy Fresh, too. I love it. God, Tigers are a live dog. Pamper Pop play today. Manoa under 5.5 Ks. Jay's first 5 -0.5. And another Libra. I love it, Robert. All right. Wow. Where's the cash on the total? Sorry, Rodney. I didn't mention that. Sorry, I was so caught up there with the huge amount of money bet on Detroit. 44% of the tickets on the under, 66% of cash on the under. Tigers are a live dog, though. I wonder if I don't know. I do not know what to do. I don't know if I have the balls to bet the Tigers. We have a bullpen advantage. I mean, if I really, I guess I have to have faith in the numbers. So, okay, well, you know what? The numbers give you different information. So I'm saying I have to have faith in the numbers because the Tigers have a better bullpen than the Reds. But the Reds lineup is much stronger than the Tigers. And once they get the lefty out of the way, there might be a righty in there. Oh, Joe Yerger says Jose Orena could see some innings. If I think – okay, so I think that balances itself out. We know the Tigers have a better bullpen than the Reds, but the Reds offense is much scarier. So then what am I focusing on? I'm focusing on that the Reds offense gets neutralized somewhat by a lefty. And I think that it's possible that Gutierrez has hit a wall and he's not very good at home. So then if I say that the Reds offense is neutralized a bit, now it looks like they're coming because they just smashed the lefty. They just did. But their numbers were poor, and now they're a little bit better against lefties last 30 days. But if they're going to get neutralized somewhat, and I think that Gutierrez might have hit a wall, and I also know that his numbers are worse at home, then I have to move on the Tigers' first 5. Well, I don't have to. I'm going to choose to. Oh, God. Okay, Tigers' first 5. Tigers first 5, and Joe Yerby said Detroit first 3 would be the way to go. You might be right. Morgan Spooner says you're making the over Seaman play. Both teams, the Tigers are hitting just 215, 625 OPS versus righties last 30 days. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. Sammy Comer says I'm going to start drinking early if there's no market move on the Astros before the stream is over. Look, it scares me. Okay, so I'm leaning towards moving on the Tigers' first 5. All right, let's move on. We got to keep moving. I want to talk college football and get deep into college football. 7:10 p.m. Eastern next. Minnesota Twins 58-75, 26-39 on the road. Tampa Bay Rays 84-50, 43-25 at home. Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. My initial thought was Rays bounce back. They still trust Waka. Waka at home. Back him at home. But I stopped because on August 14th, just 3 starts back, Waka got annihilated by these Twins. 5 innings, 11 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 12-0 loss to the Twins. And I'm not going to try to catch a falling knife here because of that. Joe Yerrick says Alexander will go 3. I'm afraid Urena will come in next. That scares me too. Well then, okay, maybe I do move first 3. But I want, oh God, if Urena comes in, then I'm screwed. You're right. But I just want to be live. I want to be live for the 4th and 5th innings of Gutierrez. Ugh. All right, let's go. I've got time. Randy Drobnak has been so bad this year after a great year last year. 7.83 ERA, 1.65 whip, 43 and 2/3, 25 Ks, 12 walks, 11 home runs. Last start was at Texas, and he was better, and he's been better on the road. At home, he's 0-3 with 11.09 ERA, 390 opponent's batting average. See what Ronnie's saying. I'm saying what up, DJ. Okay, so on the road, 5.40 ERA, 272 opponent's batting average. Still bad, but not as bad. Michael Wacha, last start at the Orioles, a 4-3 win. He went 4 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks. If the Rays brass believes in him, then I believe in him. And he's been okay at home. He's been bad on the road. 1-3, 6.75 ERA, 323 opponent's batting average. At home, 1-1, 4.63 ERA, 273 opponent's batting average. The Rays are hitting righties hard, 251, 793 OPS. Twins versus righties, 243, 750 OPS. Twins bullpen's been very good lately. Last 30 days, 3.53 ERA, 1.18 whip. Rays bullpen, 3.23 ERA, 1.10 whip. In saying all that, I do not, if you're going to take a favorite like the Rays, you want to be able to tick off a lot of boxes. They open up at 179, minus 179. They're now minus 198. So 19-cent move towards them. This total was initially juiced to the under 9 at minus 115. Now it's at minus 106. It's basically a pick. Actually, slightly juiced to the over. And Steve Priest says, combined ERA. Okay, we'll see what he's saying in a second. And Mr. Gogster says this is Drobnak's first game since June. I should have had that in my information. Let me just pull that up here quickly and get that information on Drobby. But all said and done, a minus 200 favorite. You have to have every box ticked. And the fact that the Twins just teed off on Waka last start, which was just August 14th, was just a short time ago, makes me uncomfortable. I'm not saying that he can't bounce back. And if these Rays trust him, then they trust him more than Rich Hill. They like Waka stuff more than they like Rich Hill stuff. So let's go. Oh, sorry, I look at Waka. God, Waka in my head. Waka, son of a bitch. Okay, Dobnak. Oh, Randy Dobnak. So, yes, he's not pitched since June 19th. Mr. Gozer says 3 innings probably. And then the Twins bullpen's been pitching well. Okay, I'm staying off this game. Look, I want to back Waka. I think we're going to get a nicer price on a great baseball team like the Rays when Waka's on the mound, and people are going to see his 5.70 ERA, 1.49 whip and think he's bad. And I trust the Rays brass. And Joe Yeager says Dobnak's minor league starts have been good for what it's worth. And Rodney Barton says love the over. Going to give it a shot. All right, no move for me. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Phillies at Miami Marlins. Phillies 69-64, 30-36 on the road. Marlins 55-79, 34-32 at home. Lone Depot Park, Miami, Florida. I took a long look at this game, and Jesus Luzardo coming off his first really strong start of the year. 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks, and a 2-1 win at home versus the Reds. That was when the Reds were in their throes of that slump versus lefties. Kyle Gibson, 4-2, 3.16 ERA, 1.19 whip, 37 innings, 22 Ks, 12 walks, and 2 home runs. In Gibson's last start, he went 6 innings. He allowed 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks, and a 7-0 win at home versus the Diamondbacks. The Phillies versus lefties last 30 days, 236, 723 OPS. They used to have a ton of power against lefties. That is no longer. Morgan Spooner says Phillies just 2 games out of wild card and division. They need this game. I like Phillies first 5 plus a hundo with Gibson and Luzardo. And Mr. Goat says the old game we went to. Yeah, that was just magic. Okay? We were there. Yeah, it looks like we were there a couple years ago on this. 2 weeks ago, a couple years ago. It was magic. Top set says I think the under first 5. I think under is the play, first 5 and full game. Steve Priest on the Phillies -1. Ron Crawford says spreadsheet play Phillies. So the real tricky thing is, do you trust Luzardo over what you saw? And remember, there was a time we thought Luzardo was the future ace of the A's organization. Only 3 Marlins have seen Kyle Gibson. 5 for 16 with a homer, the jack from Jesus Aguilar. And only Freddie Galvis has seen Luzardo. So then we go to the market here in Phillies, Marlins. Let me pull this up. Here we go. It opens up at 8. It's now at 7.5. The Phillies open up at -147. They're now -140. A 7-cent move towards the Marlins. Red Girl says Miami was great. Y'all need to come back. Oh, I would love to come back more than anything. Red Girl, it was so much fun. And, the Cappers we have in Miami, like yourself, are beloved. And, it was just magic. I remember Big Boss. I was drinking, and I just lost the first 5 when I was up by, 7 runs, and then lost the first 5? Okay, so and I feel more confident when I'm beside you, DJ Big Boss. That's facts. I'll run my mouth a little more. Okay, so let's take a look at where the cash lies here and if all of this makes sense. So 2,950 tickets in, 71% of the tickets, 79% of the cash to the Phillies, and the market moving towards the Marlins. It means Marlins are dangerous. 36% of tickets on the under, 90% of cash on the under. That makes sense, but we've missed that spot, and the bullpens aren't to be trusted, so it's the first 5 that you would want to back, and the first 5 is so low, you have to have both pitchers pitching lights out, and I don't know if we're going to get that. It's back at 4. I thought this first 5 was at 3.5. Wow. So this total went down to 3.5, and it got bet immediately. All right, that's a very interesting market move. Very, very interesting market move. Wow. I don't want to sit here and say that Luzardo changed everything one start and he's going to be lights out now, but I'm not going to bet against it. There's Tommy Gunn Ricci in the house. So, look, Phillies Marlins is no move No move for me. TJ says, market says Luzardo repeats. I don't know how the hell he does that, but that's what it says. I agree. That's exactly what the market is saying. Ours says, I hate Keuchel games, but I think White Sox money line is a good bet. Let's move on to it because I have fallen in love with Carlos Hernandez. And I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if he is a pitcher capable of winning the Cy as we move forward. That's how good he is. And he's big on the mound, and his stuff is nasty. And when he came up, he had no movement. And, they were hitting him hard. I wish this wasn't a spot. So I'm on the Royals first 5 plus a hundo. I wish that it wasn't against Keuchel, who pitched so badly in his last start. And Ron Crawford said spreadsheet Kansas City. I'm telling you, Carlos Hernandez has unbelievable stuff. And that last start, it wasn't even the start. Last appearance, it was on Friday night. I had just gone, I think it was, was it? Damn, when was it? Yes, it was Friday night. So I'd just gone to the horse track with my dad, and I came home, and I had the Royals plus 155. And Carlos Hernandez came in like the 5th inning or so, and he was lights out. He was unbelievable. He allowed 1 hit in 5 2/3 innings coming in, and they couldn't touch him. They weren't even coming close to him. He looked like a big, tough, scary Pedro Martinez. And maybe I shouldn't be comparing him to Pedro Martinez because he's so big and tough and scary on the mound. And Pedro Martinez was only thing that made him tough was how incredible a pitcher he was. But Carlos Hernandez is unbelievable. And I don't like the situation just because Keuchel, I said Keuchel was going to get hit. I took the Cubs first 5 last Friday. That was also at plus 155. It was at plus 170 before the show, but I thought money was going to come in the White Sox. And the Cubs put 6 runs on him in the first inning, and he was pulled. And the White Sox covered that first 5, or going back to that Phillies Marlins game. And I think that Keuchel's capable of bouncing back. Billy Friedrich says Royals haven't hit Keuchel either. I'm certainly not going to trust Keuchel under any circumstance. A stud. Because if he was going up against a stud, I'd be getting a much bigger number than plus 100. And I think Carlos Hernandez is unbelievable. If he could just get some confidence. And he's a bully on the mound. He's a big boy. All right. So let's just go into baseball data here. If there's much against Keuchel, he shuts down the Royals, 206, 547 OPS. This does not look like a good Keuchel. Against the White Sox, Hernandez is hitting 229 with a 639 OPS. And Remo says Pedro couldn't bench press the bar. No, he couldn't. Okay, so there we go. Royals first 5 plus a hundo. Let's just see what the movement has been here in the market, and then we'll move past this. And if Carlos Hernandez is lights out in this start backing him game in and game out every 5 days, because he wasn't even part of the starting rotation until that last performance out of the bullpen, and it was like spectacular. And I know that some young pitchers can't wrap their head around starting, and when they're not expected to pitch and then all of a sudden they're put in, they go 5 innings, they're electric. That's possible. So there's been no movement still. It's minus 120 for the White Sox first 5 and plus 100 for the Royals. And the White Sox open up minus 111, they're now minus 122, 11-cent move towards them. There's been a 2-cent move to the over 9. Let's see the cash here. The market looking like they expect a bounce back performance from Keuchel. 1,298 tickets in. We don't have tickets on the total, but 79% of tickets, 74% of cash on the White Sox. And I'm very interested in this spot. Very, very interested in this spot. And Joe Yurkovich just moved on the Phillies team total over 4. I don't trust Keuchel. I don't want anything to do with Keuchel. And I think Carlos Hernandez might be very special. Okay, let's move on. This was an extremely fascinating game. Cardinals, Brewers, American Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And Sabino Anguano says, my favorite baseball play is the Cardinals to beat the Brewers today. This is coming from a guy who loves and lives in Milwaukee. 71 Fahrenheit, overcast, 10 miles per hour in. 40-year-old Adam Wainwright going up against Freddie Peralta. So the big thing about this Freddie Peralta spot here is he was placed on the 10-day injured list August 19th with right shoulder inflammation. But there may not have been an injury. They said that it was never considered overly serious. It might just be to keep his innings count down. He's already thrown 121 in the third innings. That's 100 more than his 2020 total. And he had bullpen sessions Friday and Monday, and he looked very good. And Mally Mal says this game just went off the board for me, pitching issues. I wonder if Keuchel's not going to start. I wish it was against Giolito. It's still on the board for me. Still on the board for me, the Royals. Are you talking about the Royals game? I hope you're talking about Royals game. Okay. And Ron Crawford says Milwaukee spreadsheet. So I think that Peralta could still be lights out. And I'm not – I think – but I don't want to sit here and say I think. That's why I haven't bet this one yet. It's because there was this huge move towards the Brewers. And what am I going to – I have an idea that they were just trying to keep his inning count down, but I have no proof of that. Wainwright, last start was lights out. His last two starts were lights out. But look who he's pitching against, the Pirates. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 13-0 win. He's had a great year. 40-year-old Adam Wainwright, 13-7, 2.97 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. And Noli No says Jimmy just fatigued, needed rest. White Sox did the same with Rodon. Crystal Warren says Wainwright pitching like he's 25 again. Yeah, man. Carlos Hernandez is the guy. He looked like a guy who is going to win Cy Youngs in the future. Okay, Peralta last start August 18th at these Cardinals, and he got hit hard, and then he had a shoulder fatigue. At home, he's 4-1 with a 2 ERA. Opponents are hitting 123 against him. On the road, 5-2, 3 ERA, 181 against him. Brewers versus righties last 30 days, 274, 809 OPS. Cards versus righties last 30 days, 245, 707 OPS. Brewers, Cards, bullpen, very similar numbers over the last 30 days. Good numbers. So let's move over to the baseball data first and foremost and see who gets to these guys. Against Wainwright, 245, 696 OPS. The answer is no one. Colton Wong, 2 for 5 with 2 doubles. Rowdy Tellez, 1 for 3 with a double. Christian Yelich, 7 for 22 with 2 doubles. Only Vogelbach did the homer off him. 26 for 106 with just 1 home run allowed. Against Freddie Peralta, 250 with an 837 OPS. Paul Goldschmidt is 6 for 10 with 2 doubles and 2 homers against him. Okay. And max play, Tampa Bay money line and full game over for Lamont Williams. Lamont Williams max play. And Lil Picks, Cards first 5 plus a half at -110 and Cards to score first. Wow, that's a good number on the first 5 plus a half. Expecting Wainwright to have a good start. That's a really good number. All right, so let's put this here. So we got a max play from Lamont Williams in on the Rays. Okay, so let's take a look at the cash because there's been this huge market move towards the Brewers. Let's see if that's still happening. Brewers opened up -153. They're now -171. So just an 18-cent move towards them. I wonder if that's come back. Yes, it has. So this got up to -185 at 10:19 last night. So there's been a 14-cent buyback on the Cardinals, which is very interesting. And then we have a pitcher who we know is so strong, who could be out of his rhythm right now, that being Peralta. So let's move over to the cash here. 2,521 tickets in. 57% of the tickets, 51% of the cash on the Cardinals. 51% of the tickets, 28% of the cash on the under. Moving to the over. Ron Crawford says public dog in St. Louis. There have to be some concerns about Freddie Peralta, I guess. That's the only thing I can think. And the only note says Peralta said, we took the time to get stronger and get ready for October. Says that he feels 100%. And this first 5 is so low. Let's just see what the movement is on the first 5. I'm leaning towards doing nothing in this spot. I'm leaning towards squad-ass zilch here. 3.5 juice to the over. being a 5-cent move to the under 3.5. What was the weather here? 10 miles per hour in. Now, that's if they have the roof open, which I expect they will. God, it actually does feel like a first 5 under 3.5, doesn't it? But all this money on the over. Why would there be all this money on the over? Okay, I said I wouldn't sit here and hum and haw. And you know what? Wainwright just had 2 starts against the Pirates. Don't get used to that. This Brewers team rakes. Dommy Gunn says Brewers off a huge series versus Giants, travel, then playing division rival. Cards are nothing. And Steve Priest got the under 7.5 at -114. Nice score. Okay, I guess I'm going to do nothing. And great note, Dommy Gunn. I guess I'm going to do nothing. I did move on the Rockies first 5 plus 115. Let's move into that spot next. Braves, Rockies. Braves 71-62, 38-30 on the road. Rockies 61-73, 43-23 at home. Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. 77 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour out to left. You know, while I'm saying this, my thoughts were that I have a pitcher I can trust at home, and that Huascar Ynoa has never pitched at Coors. And we saw what Coors did to Tukey. David Ross, Jed Hoyer test positive for COVID-19. Wow, that's just going through everyone. Steve Priest leaning towards Braves, Rockies, first 5 under 6. I don't know what Huascar Ynoa is going to do at Coors. What he's done so far this year, the 23-year-old's being lights out, and at home he's 3-2 with a 2.29 ERA, 160 opponent's batting average. On the road, 1-2, 3.71 ERA, 255 opponent's batting average. Dwight McQueen says the Braves should win, and I'm not sitting here against that by any means. But I trust Senzatella at home. On the road, he's 1-6 with a 4.56 ERA, 298 opponent's batting average. At home, he's 2-3 with a 3.89 ERA, 271 opponent's batting average. That last start at the Dodgers was a thing of beauty. Will he carry that over to this start? I don't know. Senzatella, 3-9, 4.18 ERA, 1.34 whip on the year. And last start, 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 5-0 win at the Dodgers. Rockies bullpen been pitching much better of late, 4.12 ERA, 1.32 whip. Braves bullpen, 3.78 ERA, 1.29 whip. Rockies are hitting righties much harder than the Braves over the last 30 days. And a lot of that is being at home. But Rockies versus righties, 256, 793 OPS. Braves versus righties, 240, 743 OPS. And Tommy Gunn says, yesterday, first 5 over. I've taken all year and hit it. Mets over 3.5, first 5 for your information. Another good performance by Carrasco. Nice job. Okay, so, and Ron Crawford says 323 BABIP. He gets drilled. Who are we talking about, Ron? Please tell me it's not Senzatella. Are you talking? Please tell me who you're talking about, Ron. I'm extremely interested. Okay, so I think that he knows going to have a tricky time here in the thin air in Colorado. 77 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour out to left. Let's just go to baseball data. And so I took the plus line at plus 115. I'd also like to see what it would be right now. If I bet it right this very second, would I be getting better? And it's down to plus 110 at Bet Online. So hopefully the other books have followed suit. Moving over to full game. I love the implied probability with this spot here with Senzatella against pitchers never throwing in the thin air. And here we go, full game in this. The Atlanta opens up at minus 130. They're now just minus 134, and the total's gone from 12.5 all the way down to 11. 12.5 all the way down to 11. All right, then let's go over to the live odds here. And we have, where are you? Here we go, 2,307 tickets in, 64% of the tickets and 45% of the cash on Atlanta. I love seeing that. And then 50-50. I don't think we've ever seen that. 50% of the tickets on the under and 50% of the cash on the under. I don't think we've ever seen that before. And Nutflush Allen is on Brewers team total over. Okay, there you go. Rockies first 5 plus 115. And I apologize for the Jets. It's refreshing to hear Jets. Maybe they'll scare off the pigeon fuckfest on my balcony, and it's not sirens. We move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Texas Rangers at LA Angels. And Fat Win came in and told us that his best bet today was the Angels versus Texas. No runs, first inning. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. 79. Oh, Senzatella. Damn. Ron Crawford says Senzatella. All right. 79 Fahrenheit cleared, miles per hour to right. We have Glenn Otto going up against Shohei Ohtani. Glenn Otto, 25-year-old fifth-round pick out of Rice by the Yankees. He was part of this big Joey Gallo trade. He looked great in AAA at Round Rock. He dominated AA earlier in the year, and was nice in AAA. So this is what he did in 4 starts at Round Rock after the trade: 2.70 ERA, a 1 WHIP, and 19-7 strikeout walk across 20 innings over his 4 starts. Impressive. Glenn Otto looked very good, and he went up against the Astros, and he was great, and we were on the Astros team total under 5.5. They ended up at 5, but they did all that damage against the bullpen. He was great. He allowed no earned runs, 7 Ks, and a 5-4 loss. Ohtani on the other side. Ohtani at home is 5-0 with a 1.92 ERA, 188 opponent's batting average. On the road, 3-1, 4.25 ERA, 199 opponent's batting average. DJ Big Boss says, I've been cashing Angels overs at home. It's the right time of year for it, man. 79 Fahrenheit clear, 8 miles per hour out to right field. Steve Priest says, Otto became the 6th pitcher in Rangers history to fan 7 or more batters in his big league debut. Wow. I love that note, Steve Priest. Okay, so neither team are hitting righties right now. Rangers, 249, 695 OPS. Angels, 233, 662 OPS. Both bullpens are middling. Rangers bullpen 4.14 ERA, 1.48 WHIP over the last 30 days. Angels bullpen 4.33 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Sharon Pulliam joining us. Nice to have you. Thank you for rolling with us. So, Crystal Ward says those pitchers are hurting after their OnlyFans got shut down. Yeah, I was like many fathers, very pleased with that information. Okay, so we move on to the baseball data here. And obviously, the Angels haven't seen Otto and Ohtani. They're hitting 156, 602 OPS against. So do we expect another nice performance from Glenn Otto? That's the question. Because we can expect a bounce-back performance from Ohtani, but this total's already gone from 8.5 down to 7.5. So it's not – I mean, I should have put this together earlier than now. And then first 5 in this spot, open at 4.5, is now at 4. I wonder how long it was at 4.5, 4. Let me just see here. See when Pinnacle moved it to 4. Oh, yeah, so Pinnacle moved it to 4 last night. So I was never available for me at 4. Let's see what BetOnline's done with this. BetOnline opened it at 4 this morning. Does feel like the 4 is fine. Crystal Warren says, was Otto's first game at home? It was at home, which I agree helps, but he'd only been with his franchise for a short period of time, so it's not like he, being in exhibition games there or being in, had anything to do with that. Thank you, Cor Wiley, my man. Steve Priest leans Rangers, Angels, first 5 under 4, Otto Ohtani. I agree. Crystal Warren, do you think the fact that Otto now goes on the road to Angel Stadium would be a tough spot for him? Because this is an Angels team that's hitting 233, 662 OPS versus righties. I mean, he just went through the Astros and was handled that easily. I think the first 5 under 4 is in play. And Fat Win loving the no-score first inning. I think the first 5 under 4 is in play. I'd love to hear from you guys. What is your expectation of Otto? Let's just see where the cash lies in this spot. Do you think second start, now on the road, he gets touched? 3,114 tickets in. 87% of the tickets, 54% of the cash. Wow. 87% of the money line tickets and just 54% of the cash on the Angels. So big bets coming in on the Rangers. And then 52% of the tickets, 58% of the cash on the under, and it's dropped. Dropped. Crystal Warren says Astros were slumping, though. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right there. I'm going to move on this first 5 under 4. Okay, let's end. Paco Healy says Pistol Pete special second half over. All right, we move on. 9:40 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Mariners and Arizona Diamondbacks. There was no market for this game, and I wondered if there was going to be a pitching change between Bumgarner and Tyler Anderson. And it looks like there isn't going to be. Is it a full game, all open everywhere? Okay, good. Not really. I don't know why they're so hesitant to put this market out. Let's talk about it, though, as if it's going to go. Chase Field, Phoenix, Arizona, roof will be closed. Tyler Anderson, 1-1, 3.18 ERA, 1.15 whip, 34 innings, 25 Ks, 3 walks, 5 home runs. Last start was good. 7 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 0 walks, 6 Ks, and a 4-2 loss at home versus the Royals. Madison Bumgarner, 7-9, 4.37 ERA, 1.17 whip, 117 and a third, 101 Ks, 30 walks, 16 home runs. Billy Friedrich says my book doesn't have this game lined yet, and I don't think mine does either. Which makes me think there's going to be a pitching change. Makes me think there's going to be a pitching change. But we'll just say if it is this. Bumgarner is coming off 2 bad starts, both on the road. Do you have an expectation that he can shut down this Mariners lineup back at home? Because they're only hitting 249, 679 OPS versus lefties last 30 days. And the Diamondbacks are hitting 265, 741 OPS versus lefties. Do you want to sit here and trust Madison Bumgarner to bounce back after 2 bad games? That's the question. Mariners bullpen's been so good, 2.91 ERA, 1.18 whip. Diamondbacks bullpen, 4.63 ERA, 1.54 whip, not to be trusted. If we do think that Bumgarner is going to bounce back, then I think Tyler Anderson will have a decent enough start, but they are hitting 330, 947 OPS against them. So they get to him. And Bumgarner, they're 2 for 16 against Bumgarner. If it is Bumgarner, then I'm going to have interest in Arizona. Now, I would stay away from Arizona's bullpen. We know the Mariners have an advantage. I would also have some interest in the under. Let's see if they have any ticket information because this game, no, they have no ticket information. Just 327 tickets in, and they don't give you information at that spot. So we'll see if this is the pitching matchup. I have interest in the under, and I have interest in Arizona first 5. In saying that, I'm certainly not going to double up on 2 side bets or 2 total bets. I would be able to do an under in an Arizona first 5, but I do not want to invest too much money into this game. Okay. And Brian Dan saying we are overlooking the obvious with Tampa Bay run line and Yankees run line. And, yeah, look, I hear you. The 89% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on the Yankees, and they've moved 7 cents. That's peculiar. So that makes me think it's maybe not a slam dunk. And then the Rays have 68% of the tickets, 98% of the cash, and they moved 21 cents. So that really feels like a spot. Look, I get it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And Brian Dan says I put Diamondbacks my bad games to bed. I get it. And Dommy Gunn says Seattle coin flip game, I'm off it. I get it. I'm hesitant to want to double up here. I'm hesitant to want any kind of double up here. All right, let's move on to 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we still have Nut Flush Allen in the chat. By the way, Steve Pre saying Bumgarner struggled with his command overs past 2, giving up 9 runs, walking 7 over 11 innings. He has. Again, fucking Jets outside. Who the fuck needs an air show? Jesus Christ, have you walked around outside? Mental health issues everywhere. We put some of these people in the hospitals? What about the homeless? You guys want to just fly jets around? All right. Dodgers at San Francisco Giants. Dodgers are 85-49, 39-26 on the road. Giants are 85-49, 43-22 at home. I think that both pitchers are vulnerable here. I took the first 5 over 4.5 at -125. This total opened at 8.5, juice to the over, and Pinnacle just moved it to 9. I love seeing that. So if they just moved it to 9, have they moved the first 5 to 5? No, they haven't. So it's still over 4.5, sitting there at every book. None of them have moved it to 5. Yeah, Paco Daly says PTSD being triggered all around Parkdale. And Coco Bongo says old man rant. No, it's a practice. These guys are practicing for the air show. It's just a practice round. Okay, 59 Fahrenheit, clear, 9 miles per hour to straightaway center. Price 4-2, 3.88 ERA, 1.32. You know, whatever fucks with the pigeons actually is great. That I shouldn't be so They're scaring the pigeons. That makes me happy. 55 Ks and 67 1/3, 20 walks, 7 home runs for Price. His last start was ugly. 3 2/3, just 2 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks. 2 walks, 1 K, and a 5-2 win at home versus the Rockies. Look, Price is vulnerable at the best of times. And Disclafani has not looked good lately either. 3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 0 walks, 4 Ks, and a 9-0 loss at the Braves. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet, San Francisco. And JV lineups for both Cubs and Pirates today. Maybe I should have taken that first 5 under. Okay. So, all I need is Reynolds and Moran in the lineup. That's what I need. Crystal Horn says Jimmy versus Horny Pigeons reminds me of the Dad and Christmas Story. Well, that's beautiful. That's sweet. All right, Dodgers versus righties last 30 days, just 228, 717 OPS. Giants versus lefties last 30 days, just 232, 729 OPS. So they're not really smashing, and both bullpens have been so good. Giants bullpen last 30 days, 2.36 ERA, 0.99 whip. Dodgers bullpen last 30 days, 2.47 ERA, 1.02 whip. So here we go. Let's bring in the baseball data here. It's interesting that the full game is being bet, but not the first 5. I find that wild because Price, they're hitting 296, 944 OPS off him. 5 home runs in 54 at-bats. 16 for 54 with 7 of those 16 hits for extra bases. And against Disclafani, 328, 911 OPS. It's the bullpens that are lights out. So Bill Friedrich said Disclafani's awful versus the Dodgers this season. R says the under is a better bet. Well, if you like the under here, R, wait, because it's pushing towards the over. And Ski Prophet says, sorry, Giants fans, y'all not getting first. Dodgers are making a move, as we knew one was coming. So let's just – it looks like it's Tyler Anderson who's not going to be pitching for the Mariners, and that's why that Bumgarner Mariners game hasn't been up. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at this spot, and then we have 1 game left, and then we get into college football. Okay, so here we go. 1,336 tickets in the Dodgers-Giants. 52% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the Dodgers. 60% of tickets, 91% of cash on the under, and yet it's moving towards the over. And Joe Yurkovich just locked in White Sox Royals first 5 under 5 at plus 100. Well, if that cashes, I expect that I will cash as well. But okay, so I'm on the first 5 over 4.5 minus 125. I think that both pitchers can get touched. And we move on to the final game before we get into college football. Beautiful. Okay, now this game is perplexing, and it reminds me so much of yesterday's Rays game. The market was telling us yesterday that Chichi Rodriguez was going to have a good start. Maybe they were implying that Chichi Rodriguez was going to have a short start because he looked fine in a short period of time. Here, Jake Arrieta has not pitched since August 18th. Did the bullpen guys work their magic on this guy? Why is this market not moving heavily to the Astros? And just like the Rays game, I bet this last night. I bet the Rays the night before, and we're all on it. So let's start with who is on it. First off, Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play of the day, Houston Astros. Rusty Kuntz play of the day is the first 5 team total over 2.5 at minus 107. And why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be with Arrieta on the mound? So I completely get these spots, and I completely understood the Rays spot yesterday. I moved on the Astros minus 1 and minus 124. I could have got a much better line had I waited. Oh, my gosh. It's down to minus 135. Unbelievable. Minus 135 and plus 120. So then you can say, well, the issue is Urquidy. And Millsy is on the Astros team total over, bet on spot. Yeah, everything is pointing that way except for the market. Sammy Culmer is on the team total over 4.5. Everybody. And Millsy, I get it. I completely get it. And I trust Urquidy. Now, he was reinstated from the 10-day injured list on Wednesday, starting in place of Greinke here, being sidelined since late June due to right shoulder inflammation. He had 3 rehab appearances and looked very good. Very good. Ski Profit says only positives area is rested. Other than that, I don't know why you back him here. Eric Jones is on the over 9. So I'm also on the over 9 at plus 100. Maybe that has gone my way. That could be my... The first 5, 4.5's gone to 9 or 5, excuse me, and then the full game here under 9. It was juiced to the under. I got plus 100. It's now juiced to the over. So I don't even know if you guys can hear that. Maybe you can't even hear that. Okay. And Nufflo Sean says, do not forget, Giants have played 9 days in a row. Rodney Barton says, area to get slapped up. I see a bunch of runs in this game. I hope so. Arias' last start, he goes 3 1/3, allows 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and 7-5 loss at the Rockies. I'm not going to invest any more money in this game. And I moved on the full game before the first 5 was available. So, Astros versus righties last 30 days, 277, 749 OPS. Padres versus righties, 219, 669 OPS. Astros bullpen 3.71 ERA, 1.16 whip over the last 30 days. Padres bullpen 4.49 ERA, 1.33 whip over the last 30 days. We go over to baseball data. Against Urquidy, only Nola and Profar have seen them. Against Arrieta, they're 16 for 44, 364 with a 906 OPS. Yeah, Mr. Bubbles there, Jets in the background. Jets in the background. Putting on a little practice for their air show. Okay, so then we move over to this market move. Astros open up at minus 150. They're now minus 128, a 22-cent move towards the Padres. 22-cent move. Now let's see where the money lies. There must be some big bets here. 3,770 tickets in. The tickets are split 50-50. Oh, no. Shit. Sorry, that's wrong. That's the spread money line. Sorry. The tickets are 74%. Look at this. Of course, this is the look. 74% of tickets are on the Astros. 30% of cash is on the Astros. So huge bets coming in on the Padres. And then 49% of tickets on the under and 99% of cash on the under. This is just nuts. This is just nuts. Mr. Gokes here on Houston first 5 minus a half. This is just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. All right, there is your MLB card. Beautiful. We got lots of time to talk NCAA football, and we're going to close off with CFL football. So let's review our MLB action right now. I made 9 bets before the show. I think I'm going to be adding 2 for sure. 1. First off, Pirates first 5 plus 115. I already moved on it. Let's see what it is right now. I know money coming back in on the under. We're going to go to first 5. I fear that there's a lot of believers in Mills here after that great start. And now anywhere between plus 120 and plus 125. So that makes me a little uncomfortable. Then first 5, under 5 at minus 115 in Baltimore Yankees. I lean to the first 5 over in Mets Washington. I lean towards it, but I don't know if I'm going to move on it. CT Bay says this screaming Padres pen for 7 innings. I got to pass. That's makes sense. And Ski Prof says could be that like that Illinois college football game. Public can win too. You're absolutely right. Then we have first 5 under 4.5 in Oakland, Toronto, and that makes me nervous. And then I'm on Jay's first 7 minus a half because the first 5 minus a half wasn't available, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be available. Then it became available, and now I feel like an asshole on the first 7. But I like Manoah over Minaya. Then the taint play of the day is Cleveland-Boston, full game under 9. And I'm going to tail that. Then I want the Tigers against the Reds. And I think the market is telling us that they're live here and that Vladimir Gutierrez might have hit a wall. In saying that, Joey Yurkovich fears that Tyler Alexander is going to go only 3 innings and then Jose Urena is going to come in. If Jose Urena is going to come in, then I'm going to lose that first 5. So he's saying maybe move on the first 3. And I think that's fascinating, although I do want to be fading Gutierrez in the 4th and 5th. So I'm not sure I'm not entirely sure what to do. Then we move to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. I'm off Twins Rays. I'm off Phillies Marlins. I'm on Royals first 5 plus 100, and I think Carlos Hernandez has enormous potential. This guy could be the best pitcher in the AL. That's the kind of potential I think he has. And he didn't have movement on his stuff, and he was getting hit hard. They put him in the bullpen. He was so confident in his last appearance. And CT Bay says, I'm now on Chicago-Pittsburgh first 5 under 4.5. All right, then let's just see that line. Okay, well, why don't we finish this review, and then we'll take a look. I'm on Rockies first 5 plus 115. I'm adding the first 5 under 4 in Rangers-Angels. Then I have interest in a bounce back spot from Bumgarner, but we don't know who's pitching for the Mariners. Doesn't look like it's going to be Tyler Anderson. I'm on the first 5 over 4.5 in Dodgers-Giants. And then the spreadsheet play today is the Astros. Turnsies, Rusty Kuntz play today is first 5, team total over 2.5. I'm on the Astros -1 in Houston, San Diego over 9 plus 100. And I wish I could take those bets back, and I'm not going to buy out of it. So then we go back just to that first game that pops off here in an hour and 40 minutes. I would like just to check out the lineups here and just make sure that I have Reynolds. If I don't have Reynolds and Moran, I'm going to lose my shit. Okay, here we go. Pittsburgh Pirates, Tucker, Gamble, Reynolds, Moran. Okay, Newman, Perez, Alford, Park. Then for the Cubs, Hermosillo, Schwindel, Wisdom, Duffy, Happ, Romine, Rivas, Alcantara. I'm just going to stick with my action here. But I do like that. I do agree that is that. I wonder if this first 500 is taking action here. Let's just see what BetOnline is doing with this first 5. I have their market movements here. And we'll move to the total. Yeah, a little. They opened. I mean, it's right where it started, though. Huh. I hear you, Brian Dance, but they're smashing lefties. The Cubs versus lefties last 30 days, 249 average, 786 OPS. I think that this first 500 is going to be in play as well. I think it's going to be in play as well. I think I'm going to move on with you. Pitt, CHC, first 5 under 4.5. Okay. I need to put some marks here so I remember to bet it. Okay. All right. There you go. That is MLB. Paco Healy says, I need a drink with you and Coco Bongo in person. Will be straight destruction. It's going to happen. I promise it's going to happen. The only reason why we all had me getting together is because of COVID. All right, let's break into NCAA football. We're coming off a 3-0 sweep, sitting at 7-2 on the year. Great start. Great start. NC State first half -10 cash. Minnesota first half +7 cash. Ohio State, Minnesota first half under 31.5 cash. I am Brian Dance. I'm on first 5 plus 115, but Domi's right. With the way the Cubs are hitting lefties, and Brault could get touched, and I know a lot of you, like Mally Mouth, think Brault is ass. But I believe in Brault. I do. Okay. Domi Gun Ricci. We love you. Please always let us know what you're on and how you're making moves. I love it. And Steve Priest has snagged Ottawa Red Blacks +8 -110. We're going to close with CFL. And I'm only 2-2. I've only made 4 bets in CFL so far this year, but I do have a look here in this game. Okay, let's get to work. College football time. Let's go. We start 6 p.m. Eastern. Number 10th ranked North Carolina at Virginia Tech. We're at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. And Enter Sandman's going to be playing. And they're going to have fans there for the first time since 2019. And that place is going to be going off. Do you trust North Carolina in this situation? William Torres said that Minnesota first half, Jimmy Cash felt so good. Yeah, William. Felt very, very good. Miguel Vega says Fresno State should cover today, Jimmy. I think they can keep up with Oregon. Plus, they have a game on them. Long-time listener, but can never chat because of work. Thank you for all the go. Miguel, thank you so much for those kind words. Thank you for those kind words, my man. So, look, I think Fresno State can play with Oregon. I do. But we're going to start here at 6 p.m. and we're going to move through. So let's go. And that's Fresno State is Saturday. So we do have some more time, right? We have more time that's Saturday at 2 p.m. So we have more time. And again, we have our big NCAA kickoff show Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern on for 2 hours before college football kicks off. Okay, so Lane Stadium going to be a madhouse. Let's see the market here. The Virginia Tech opens at plus 5.5. And Bet Online, Heritage, you wager have them at 6. Pinnacle still sitting at 5.5. The total here is, and William, I hope you also moved on Ohio State Live, like stuck to this plan because it was absolutely spectacular. Billy Friedrich, same bet again, 5-team, 7-point teaser. Virginia Tech plus 12.5, ODU plus 38.5, Charlotte plus 12.5, Northwestern plus 4, South Dakota plus 16.5. And getting plus 300 on that. That's exciting. And Brian Dan says, quick stat about North Carolina. They're 0-8 on the road to start first game of the season. That's very interesting. Now, they do have a quarterback that can completely be trusted. I'm just going to copy and paste Billy Friedrich's action here. And pop it here. Okay. All right. And Tommy Gunn says, Oregon, 11 a.m. start. Class is not in full swing. Both big secondaries, Hill and James, are out off the field incidents. I took Fresno plus 20.5. That's exciting. And Rodney Barton looking at a couple horses here. Okay. And Tommy Gunn took Wake minus 19 first half. You know I'm on Wake. First half full game. That was a Tuesday breakdown for you guys, which we'll go over again quickly, very quickly. But let's go with this game first. So we have North Carolina, Virginia Tech. Let's check out the cash here. So we know that this total has gone from 66 down to 63.5, and there's been a half-point move towards the Tar Heels. So let's see if the cash follows suit. And we get huge sample size here. 16,102 tickets in. On the spread, 77% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on North Carolina. On the money line, 71% of the tickets, 82% cash on North Carolina. And then on the total, 47% of the tickets and 63% of the cash on the over. Billy Friedrich says UNC is overrated. Mr. Bubbles is on the under. And R says, what's the total? North Carolina doesn't play defense. Steve Priest says Sam Howell's 68 touchdowns are the most in ACC history for a player through 2 seasons. Billy Friedrich likes Virginia Tech tonight plus points and sprinkling the money line. Paco Healy says too many points. So my first thought, and I haven't been able to pull the trigger, is to back Virginia Tech. Last season, these two teams met in a 56-45 win for North Carolina. Sam Howell threw for 3 touchdowns. North Carolina ran for 399 yards. The stars in that game, other than Howell, have all moved on to the NFL. Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, the running backs, gone. Wide receivers, De'Ami Brown and Daz Newsome, gone. So that opens up opportunities for younger receivers that have talent. Josh Downs, Emory Simmons. And we saw a little bit of what Downs can do in the Orange Bowl last year against A&M, Texas A&M. North Carolina's wide receiver that they were hoping to really count on, their super senior, Bo Corrales, will not play. He's still dealing with this lower body injury. And Ron Crawford says Hokies plus 6, don't fade a home dog under the lights on national TV. And CT Bay says North Carolina offense going to need a few weeks. Both running backs and wide receivers drafted. And Nightmare says Liberty beat Virginia Tech last year. I know North Carolina better than Liberty. I get that. Paco Ely says, do you think we'll see a 6.5? I do. I think it's possible. Okay, so let's go over this more. So defensive coordinator Jay Bateman is hoping for improved defense, 3rd year at the helm. Tony Grimes coming into a sophomore season. They have 7 returning starters. And there are hopes for an improved defense for North Carolina. For Virginia Tech, Braxton Burmeister now gets the opportunity. Rodney Barton says Braxton Burmeister is a monster. Dude has veins in his abs. Brian Dance loves Virginia Tech. And Steve Priest says North Carolina adding running back Ty Chandler, who transferred from Tennessee. Virginia Tech's, so, Hendon Hooker gone. Braxton Burmeister ready to take control. And this Virginia Tech defense was so bad last year. There are a lot of hopes for improvement. So Taiwan Garbett, Amari Barno have been good and now need to step up. They get Clemson transfer Jordan Williams, who's going to help the inside. And then Dax Hollifield now gets to move back to middle linebacker, which is where he wants to play. Turnsy's on Virginia Tech, and Brian Dan's on Virginia Tech. So I'll tell you what has kept me from making a move thus far. And that's Sam Howell. So we know that he's not going to be bullied by the raucous atmosphere at Lane Stadium. But the players that he needs to succeed are possibly going to be a little uncomfortable. If we think that North Carolina is just better than Virginia Tech and will slowly take over the game. Now, it's different than what we thought in the Minnesota-Ohio State game. We were banking on Stroud not being that comfortable at first, needing to take a minute before he's comfortable. And we saw him overthrowing receivers. He just did not look comfortable in the first half. That's not going to happen with Sam Howell. So, if we think that the playmakers for North Carolina might be stymied, and this North Carolina offense that's introducing all these new players is going to take a little while to get rolling, then wouldn't we then think that Virginia Tech first half might be a better bet than Virginia Tech full game? And we have a second. Is that a second Rusty Kuntz, Turnsy? Is that a second Rusty Kuntz? Please let us know if we got two Rusty Kuntz plays today. So with saying all that, it makes me think that the first half will be in play. So let's take a look. Because we have such a big sample size of tickets in, and we know that full game, the spread, 77% of the tickets, 81% of the cash is on North Carolina. Why don't we move to first half? Because we'll have a lot of information here. First half is 98% of tickets and 94% of cash on North Carolina. So I don't think I can move on Virginia Tech. Oh shit, Mike Lervalina. I don't like hearing that, my man. Let's get you back. Let's get you back. But I don't think that I'm going to go against all this money here when I know that the North Carolina quarterback is going to be fine. I've been hesitating, and I think I'm hesitating for good reason. I wish Sam Howell's going to be awesome this year. And he's going to be comfortable with all this madness at Lane Stadium. Now, do I want to back them on the road week one? Absolutely not. This is a Virginia Tech or no bet. But after talking this all through, I don't think I can move on Virginia Tech. So let's move on. I think this is going to end up being no bet for me. Let's move on. We move on to 7 p.m. Eastern. Duke at Charlotte. We're at Jerry Richardson Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. And let's take a look at the market right off the top. Duke, Charlotte. Duke opening up at 6.5-point favorites. This total sitting at 60.5. And there's been no movement. Very interesting. Where does the cash lie? 9,822 tickets in. We have 66% of the tickets and 70% of the cash on Duke and no market move towards them. Very interesting. Also, 82% of the money line tickets are on Charlotte. Just 50% of the cash, but that's interesting. Then from a totals perspective, we have 41% of the tickets on the under and 58% of the cash on the under. Real Deal Prime says, don't mess with Duke, baby. Okay. And Eric Jones says my model's rated UNC minus 5.5 all day. Ron Crawford says Charlotte are nothing for me, and CT Bay says under in Charlotte. I find them both fascinating looks. Let's get to work. The Blue Devils' 2 wins last year were the lowest in the Cutcliffe era since 2007, when they went 1-11. And one of those 2 wins came against Charlotte. Duke was so bad offensively last year. 39 turnovers last year, and you blame Chase Bryce. Easy to blame Chase Bryce, who didn't look, moved on to App State. It's another conversation. So Gunnar Holmberg comes in. Since in the last 10 years, only one team has had more turnovers than Duke last year. The 2017 San Jose State team. Now, Holmberg has some nice targets and different types of players on offense, which helps. 6'5" senior Jake Bobo, 6'3" junior Eli Pankow, and speedster Jalen Calhoun on offense. But this team all revolves around Mateo Durant. It all revolves around. And please, Turnsy, let me know if there are 2 Rusty Kuntz today. And Kevin Riley says North Carolina much better than Virginia Tech. Only thing for Virginia Tech rowdy crowd. And Viper says Duke is trash. And William Torres on Charlotte plus 5.5. So Mateo Durant's going to be the focal point. We know that. 817 yards, 8 touchdowns last year. He's going to go for 1,000 yards plus if he doesn't get hurt. This offensive line is more experienced than last year. Duke's defense will be weaker this year. Victor Dumakaji, Chris Rumpf, gone. No longer in Durham. 39 career sacks combined for those 2 guys, gone. Now, Shaka Hayward is, their leading tackler is back. He's going to be a big piece. But their defense is going to be worse. And no for today. Okay, cool. Then Will Healy, great first season at the helm of the Niners in 2019, gets them to their first ever bowl game. And then 2020, there was none of that magic. Chris Reynolds was battling shoulder injuries all last year. He's back in action. 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions in his career. They're going to be better with a healthy Chris Reynolds. Victor Tucker, school's all-time leader in receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns. He's back. Now, their running game is a concern. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but what is Iowa transfer Shadrick Byrd going to give them? Their top 2 rushers are gone from 2020. But they do get 3 starters on their returning to their offensive line, and Dimitri Emmanuel, the leader of the group. Charlotte's defense is going to be much improved. They get Kofi Wardlow coming in from Notre Dame. Marquise Watts was injured last year. He's going to be back healthy. And then they get John Alexander in from Kansas State, who's going to help their secondary. I agree with you guys that Charlotte is the play here. So while I didn't move on Virginia Tech, after talking this all out, I will move on Charlotte plus 6.5. All right. Okay, let's move on. We have now. I broke this game down on Tuesday, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But you guys know I'm doubling up on Wake Forest. I got them first half minus 19, full game minus 31, and the main stat. And I've been sitting with it for some time. The main stat I had on the Tuesday. Where is my Tuesday? Here we go. The main stat for my Tuesday breakdown was pretty simple, and that's that I was keeping things simple early in the year. And what I was doing was fading. Oh, that's Thursday. Shoot. What I was doing was I was fading teams that didn't play last year. It was really, really easy. So New Mexico State, I doubled up on UTEP. New Mexico State lost 30-3. I had Fresno and the full game under. Fresno beat UConn 45-0. So the 2 teams that hadn't played last year lost by a combined 75-3. And Old Dominion is a little different. There's no question that Old Dominion is a little different because they have Ronnie coming in, who is going to provide hope, who's the offensive coordinator at Penn State. So I get it. But Wake Forest's offense was strong last year, and they were just 4-5 last year and 3-4 in the ACC. They're going to want to stomp on the throats of Old Dominion to get that confidence for Sam Hartman, who had a good year last year but needs to have a great year. Jakari Roberson, the wide receiver, 62 catches for 926 yards, 8 TDs last year. They have second-year freshman Donovan Green, who had a big year last year. Second-year freshman Taylor Morin. They have A.T. Perry at 6'5", who's going to be a much more dangerous weapon, I think, this year. And their pass protection was bad last year. It was clearly evident in every game they played, but they returned all 5 starters. Now you could say, yeah, but those starters were shit. Well, they're going to be better than they were last year. They lose Kenneth Walker to Michigan State. By the way, I can't wait to talk about that game. But Christian Beal-Smith is a workhorse, and I think he's going to be just fine. Their defense was bad and so bad at the end of the year, and they're going to need players to step up. They lose Boogie Basham. They lose Jaquez Williams. But Miles Fox led the team in tackles for losses, 6'1", 300-pound senior. He's back. You got Ryan Smenda, who was third on the team in tackles, 6'2", 235-pound junior linebacker. You got Travion Red, the fourth on the team in tackles, but a very good safety. And the secondary is going to be better. They have Nick Anderson and Jazir Taylor coming back. They're going to be better. And they're not going to take the foot off the gas. There are teams that we see all the time that just don't push it. And especially in the second half, I don't think this is going to be one of those spots, personally. So Rick Ronnie takes over for Old Dominion. In 2019, they went 1-11. Bobby Wilder resigned after 13 years. This was a terrible football team that Ronnie took over. They have a couple guys coming back from that 2019 team on the offensive line. That's going to help them. 6'6" senior Isaac Weaver. He started all 11 games 2019, Conference USA honorable mention. And he'll line up right beside 300-pound lineman Nick Saldiveri. Is it Stone Smart who's going to be the starter? Because, he's been battling with Hayden Wolf. They also have, UCF transfer DJ Mack, who's going to help the ground game. But Stone Smart, 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions 2 years ago. He was terrible. And Hayden Wolf wasn't any better. And they lose their top pass rushers, Juwan Ross to East Tennessee State and Keon White to Georgia Tech. And their best defensive tackle left for Northwestern. The secondary starting all over. So... And Noli Knows says Old Dominion took a lot of money on their season win total over a third most NCAA football. Yeah, they're going to be better. Michael Robertson in the house. We're just talking about the game that I capped on Tuesday for you guys. Might double up on Wake Forest. So, yeah, they're going to be better. Ronnie's going to make this team better. And he's got hope and energy, and they're going to be better. But the fact that they're going to be better makes me think that Wake Forest doesn't fuck around. They're gonna. So this opened at 32.5, and it went all the way down to 30.5. It's been coming up. We got it at 31. It's now 32 across the board. Still 31.5 at UWager and Bet Online. This total opened up at 64. It's now down to 61.5 at Bet Online, and I'm uncomfortable taking too many totals early in the year. So there we go. Billy Friedrich says ODU will be better and will probably cover tonight. They won't win. They will not win more than 3.5 total games this year. Look at their schedule. I think that, look, capping is never really easy. And when you think it's easy, the rug gets pulled out from under you. And it was very easy fading Connecticut and New Mexico State because they didn't play last year. And maybe I'm tying on to this so easy that these teams have been playing 2020. And we'll see. But I'm on Wake Forest, first half -19, full game -31. All right, let's move on to the next giant game tonight. And then we're only going to talk about one game tomorrow. I've got more work to do on tomorrow's card, and I really wanted to focus on these games and the entire baseball card, and there's, how many hours goes into the prep work. But don't forget, Babano and CMAC and special guests, Saturday morning, the college football kickoff show. All right, this game is incredible. Michigan State at Northwestern, Ryan Field in Evanston, Illinois, 9 p.m. Eastern. I can't wait for this game, and I've come very close to betting Michigan State, and I haven't. So, and look, it did this morning when I was doing radio for Rob Mike Richards. They're sponsored by Sports Interaction. Sports Interaction was still hanging the 3.5 for Michigan State. No longer. It's 3s across the board. Opened at Northwestern 4 points favorite. Now 3 across the board. This total opened up at 45, and it's moved up a half point. And straight cash homie play of the day from David Summers, Alabama first quarter -6.5. And CT Bay's like in the over in Michigan State, Northwestern. Northender is on the Spartans. So I'm going to put that right under Billy Friedrich's action. Thank you for sharing that with us, David. And CT Bay's on the over here. Yes, Gabriel, I'll do a final review here, but we're on college football right now. So I'll do a final review for you. But focusing on college football right now. Okay, so let's talk about this spot. And I've got to speed up because I want to talk about one game tomorrow, and I still want to talk one game CFL. So let's take a look at – so we know that there's been a 1-point move towards Michigan State. 13,454 tickets in on the spread, 49% of the tickets, 60% of the cash on Michigan State. That number's coming down. That was bigger this morning. Interesting. For the cash, for the money line, 53% tickets, 53% of cash on Michigan State. Then 40% of tickets on the over, but 64% of cash on the over. And we've heard that CT Base is on this over. Nathan Cerno liking this over as well. Joey Harbaugh, Michigan State team total over. And Dommy Gunn, Ricci locked in the under 60.5 in Duke Charlotte. Northwestern coming off an excellent 2020 season. It was fun, right? We were in the throes of the pandemic, and they stepped up in a big way, and it was fun. They finished 7-2. They won their second ever Big Ten West title. They're up 10-6 at the half against Ohio State to possibly win their first ever Big Ten title in their history, and they can't pull it off. But it was a great year. Their defense last year was very, very strong, and they're not going to be this year. I don't know how they're going to be able to recreate the strength of their defense. First off, they lose longtime defensive coordinator Mike Hankwitz. He retires. They have just four starters returning on defense. All-American safety Brandon Joseph, linebacker Chris Bergen, cornerback Cameron Mitchell, and defensive end Adetimiwa Adebawar. And Bergen is a big piece of the puzzle, right? Him, Blake Gallagher, Patty Fisher, they were the Irish law firm. This defense was so good, allowing 15.89 points per game. Each player finished in the conference top 10 tacklers in 2020. And Fisher, Patty Fisher, who's still a free agent right now, finished the season as NCAA's active career leader in tackles and forced fumbles. And Gallagher just signed with the Ravens. Patty Fisher, free agent. So they also lose Greg Newsome, the second, Cleveland Browns first-round pick. So a lot of losses. Nolino says, I'm on the under and leaning towards Michigan State. Another team expected to be much better this season, brought in a lot of transfers. Brian Dan says this game is so even, it's nail-biter. Ron Crawford said Sparty, road dog, 16 starters return. And Dom Ricci says Michigan State favorable over numbers on the road last few seasons. Okay, so let's keep going. They have Gallagher's younger brother. So Blake was a monster. They have Bryce Gallagher coming in. They have senior Peter McIntyre, junior Khalid Jones, sophomore Bryce Gallagher, hoping to handle it. And then we get another look at Hunter Johnson. I mean, how many chances is Hunter Johnson going to get? Is he going to be able to step up here? He's never been able to live up to what the expectations were for him. And, last year he watches Ramsey transfer from Indiana and completely take the job, easily take the job. Also, Cam Porter led the team with 333 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns last year, suffered a season-ending injury during fall camp. They're in trouble. Last year's star left tackle is now with the Chargers. Now they went 4-0 at home, and Michigan State's coming off an ugly first season. Do you trust what Mel Tucker did? It's hard to trust. Rocky Lombardi transferred to Northern Illinois, so there was this quarterback battle between Peyton Thorne and Temple transfer Anthony Russo. William Torres says, I'm on Michigan State. They're 6-1 last 7 trips. Viper, we love you, my man. And R saying Colorado State lock of the night. Okay, so Michael with the hiccups. If you're not allergic to peanut butter, it's the trick that we've used for the last 20 years or so. Just put some peanut butter in your mouth and gone. Okay. Russo started 26 games at Temple. Thorne completed 56.5% of his attempts for 582 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 games, 1 start for Michigan State last season. That's who we expect Thorne to be there behind center. And he's got weapons. Jalen Naylor, Jaden Reed, both incumbents coming in who had good seasons last year. They're deep at running back with Jordan Simmons and Connor Hayward. They also have Kenneth Walker transferring from Wake Forest, and we know what Kenneth Walker did in the red zone last year, 13 touchdowns. He was a menace. Their offensive line returns all 5 starters. Michigan's defense was not very good last year, but they returned 7 starters. They're 2-5 over the last 7 road games. So I want to back Michigan State. I want to back Michigan State. No one knows that's facts about peanut butter. They're gone so fast. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, Ella thinks it's too funny. She'll have hiccups, bad hiccups. I'll give her some peanut butter, spoonful of peanut butter, and they're just gone. All right. I'm going to move on Michigan State. I wish I got the 3.5. It is what it is. I was afraid to give it out on the show, the radio show I wanted to talk about with you guys. I wish I had. Oh, my pleasure, Michael Robinson. I hope it works. Ron Crawford says buy it to 4. He may have missed a number. No, I'll if I push because of the 3, I push because of the 3. I needed to talk it out. And with the defensive issues on both squads, I don't want to touch the total. I want to watch these teams play. Picasso, the prophet in the house. Love you, my guy. All right, so that's Friday's college football action. So to review, I am afraid to bet Virginia Tech, and I'm not going to do it. But it's Virginia Tech or no bet. I'm going to move on Charlotte plus 6.5. I doubled up on Wake Forest first half and full game, and I'm going to move on Michigan State plus 3. And I apologize for these fucking Jets. All right, I'm only going to drop one game here on Saturday, and I'm trying not to double up on anything. I doubled up on UTEP against New Mexico State, and I'm doubling up on Wake Forest, and I'm just taking advantage of these teams that didn't play last year, but I prefer not to double up on anything this year. So we go to Piscataway, New Jersey. Look, I'm on Rutgers minus 14.5 full game. This came close to a double up. It came very close to a double up. And after I talk to you guys about it, it may end up a double up. And this is the only game we're going to talk about on Saturday. Then we're going to move over to CFL very quickly. Rutgers opening up as 14-point favorites. They moved to 14.5. This total goes from 51 to 52. We go over to the cash flow on this game. And where are you, Rutgers? Show your... They might not have it here because of... You know what? They don't have it here because of the switch. It's supposed to be on Thursday. Damn. I really wanted to see the numbers here. All right, that's not going to help me. Did they add it to the bottom? Sorry. No, they didn't. Okay, so we don't have the cash flow numbers. That's disappointing. It is what it is. Okay. Shiano did a great job last year. They get 10 starters back on offense. They only lose their starting right tackle. Pacheco back after running for 515 yards, 3 scores. And they have a ton of depth in the backfield this year. Jameer Wright-Collins might be electric. Aaron Young coming in as well. Noah Vidrell gets that second year after transferring from Nebraska, and he was pretty good. 3 of his top targets are back. Bo Melton, Cruikshank, and Shamin Jones, all back. Last year, those 3 combined for like almost 60% of receptions. And they have a tough linebacking core. Tyshawn Fogg, Fatu Casey, and Temple is bad. Fucking Jets. We talk about bad teams that are improving. This isn't one of them. They lost 5 of 6 games by double digits last year. Sure, they were besieged by injuries and COVID issues, but how is that going to change for Rod Carey? It's not going to. He's only returning 58% of their players from last season. They're breaking in a new starting quarterback in former Georgia transfer Dwan Mathis. Let's see him do it. They only have 6 returning starters. 6 returning starters, 4 on the offensive line. And they got Jaden Blue with 136 receptions. On defense, they're bringing in 53% of their production. They're bringing back 53% of their production. So, and Nolino says that's my game as well. I'm on the under 52. So, I'm on Rutgers. And I think, I think it's going to be a double up. I think I just got to stop being stop with the pacification. Don't need to be safe here. I'm doubling up. Ron Crawford still has his bet from Tuesday minus 13.5. Great job. I wish I had that. It's just there's so many games that we're capping. I'm slow to the chase. Okay, I'm adding first half. Okay, so we've got to go, but let's talk CFL very quickly. We move over to CFL, just 2-2, 4 bets only. I'm on the Alouettes team total under 25.5. We've seen a huge. God damn it! Gotta be fucking kidding me. Jets. Fucking Jets. Gotta be fucking kidding me. Wow. Buyback on the Ottawa Redblacks. Buyback on the Ottawa Redblacks. I repeat, buyback on the Ottawa Redblacks. We saw this in that very fascinating game when the Alouettes went to Calgary, and the Alouettes went up to 7-point favorites, and then the buyback happened while we were on the show, and I didn't even get a chance to move on it, and Calgary beat the Alouettes in that spot. This got up to 7.5-point favorites for the Alouettes. It's now at 6 at some books, and this total sitting at 43. I got the under. Slat says, why not play the full game under? Have you seen Ottawa's offense? I think that Ottawa is going to have a much better game here. Look, their offense being terrible. Nichols hasn't thrown for a touchdown this year. 453 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I just think I did not want to double up on this game. And I think I have the biggest edge taking the Alouettes team total under. I really do. I think that's my best spot. Now, Ottawa's allowed 13 sacks. They've allowed 955 passing yards. They haven't been good, but I expect them to be better here. And I think we saw the real Alouettes. That first game showed just how bad the Elks are, not how good the Alouettes are. So I think I have a slightly bigger edge on the 25.5 rather than the 43. That's my thinking. I think I have a slightly bigger edge on taking the Alouettes team total under 25.5. I'm curious to see what it is right now. I do not trust or believe in this Alouettes team, and I think this Ottawa team can be better. I'm just going to go to the team total. It's still at 25.5. No change there. Henry Dice took the under 60. We broke that game pretty heavy, and I'm nervous with totals this early in the year. I'm on Charlotte plus 6.5. Okay. I agree, those slats. I just didn't want to double up. I just didn't want to double up here. But I agree that the under is the look. I agree the full game under is look. But would I be shocked here if it was a 24-20 win for the Alouettes? No. And that goes over the total, but the Alouettes don't come close to theirs. So I'm going to stick with it and not double up here. I'm going to stick with it, and that's the Montreal Alouettes team total under 25.5. And that's all I'm going to move on. There's Kevin DeFridas in the house. All right, big, giant show. Let's review all of the action and put a bow on this. First off, in MLB, I'm adding the Pirates, Cubs, first 5 under 4.5. I'm already on the Pirates, first 5 plus 115. I'm on the Orioles, Yankees, first 5 under 5 at minus 115. I have some interest in this first 5 over in Mets Nationals. I made a mistake not being patient, waiting for the first 5 to come out, and I took the Jays first 7 minus a half at minus 120. I wish I was on the first 5. I like Manoah over Manaea. I'm also on the first 5 under 4.5 in that game. The taint play of the day is Cleveland, Boston, full game under 9. I am tailing it. I'm interested in the Tigers' first 3 because I am now scared that Urain is going to come in the 4th. But my plan was to back the Tigers' first 5. I haven't bet it yet. I want to talk it out, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm off Twins, Rays, off Phillies, Marlins. Royals first 5. Fuck. This is hard to stay focused. This is now. Oh, but I still hear sirens. So it's still Parkdale. Royals first 5 plus 100. I think Carlos Hernandez is a monster. I think he is a monster, and I think that we're going to have value backing him. I don't like fading Dallas Keuchel after his just horrific performance. I think he bounces back, and I wish it was against Giolito and I was getting a big plus line. I've stayed off Cardinals, Brewers. I'm on the Rockies first 5 plus 115. I'm adding the first 5 under 4 in Rangers, Angels. And I'm interested in Bumgarner. I'm curious to see who's going to start for the Mariners. I'm also on the first 5 over 4.5 in Dodgers, Giants. Then I'm on the Astros -1 in Houston, San Diego over 9 and plus 100. And I honestly, with the market moving towards the Padres, they know Arrieta is going to have a good start. I'm shit scared, and I there's not much I can do. Kevin DeFrias, shout out to the Parkdale Flames in the house. Leonard Wells says, what time's the show air tomorrow? NCAA football kickoff show, 10 a.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so then in college football, I'm off North Carolina, Virginia Tech. I just can't move on Virginia Tech, and I don't want Carolina on the road first game 1. I'm moving on Charlotte plus 6.5. I've already doubled up on Wake Forest first half full game, and I'm moving on Michigan State, and it's just plus 3. But I'm going to move on them. Then I am on Rutgers full game -14.5 already. I'm now adding first half and double up spot. There is my entire card, and I'm on the Alouettes team total under 25.5. Team total under 25.5. There you go. There you have it. Ooh-wee. That was a lot of work, but it's so much fun. I can't wait for tonight, 7 p.m. I guess I can't wait for 8 p.m. when the kids go down, and I can be. My girl knows not to talk to me. I'm just going to be pacing back and forth. She'll be watching her YouTube videos, and I'll have the rest of the apartment ready to fucking go. These are the days I live for. All this action. Ooh-wee! Thank you, guys. I have no show without your support. I love capping with you each and every day. Brian Dance, Vicente Gigante, Crystal Warren, North Ender, Michael Robertson says, oh, man, you can get Colorado State to win and total over 48.5 plus 225. Interesting. Billy Friedrich, Puzzler, Leonard Welch, Leroy Flood, C.T. Bays, Nathan Cerna, Johnny K, Kevin DeFritas, Coco Bongo, all you guys, Mr. Gokster, Andrew G, Ron Crawford. This fucking unbelievable. I just fuck. Oh, Slat thought I was talking about the New York Jets. No, it's a fucking air show outside. Rem Most, Henry Dice. Oh, he loves watching the Jets flying overhead. Sorry, I thought you said he loves his show. My bad. I love you guys. Noli knows, all of you guys putting in your hard work, sharing angles, crunching numbers, defeating the books together. And that is, that's what this is all about. Leche! Hey, those bookmakers! Let's have ourselves a weekend. Let's start it right, full of cash.